Hey GG, hello everyone. I'm having a hard time making this weekend stupid because the selection is difficult. There's just so many things I can add in, but I can only fit so much in 30 minutes. So I need to decide what I should cut out and what I should leave in, and it's very difficult this week. Let's put it like this. Happy Men's Day. Yes, we already covered Men's Day yesterday. Apparently, the United Nations was celebrating Men's Day by by saying Happy Men's Day to all the allies that are fighting for women in gender equality and all of that good stuff. And I'm thinking, what a nice gesture to use Men's Day as another opportunity to celebrate women. So we know that every day is Men's Day, and every Men's Day is an opportunity to celebrate women, and therefore you can connect the dots. Right. I haven't looked at Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend. I don't know anything about that. I know there's another lawsuit going on with the Aubrey shooting, and I've no idea about that either. See, unlike the mainstream media, I don't like to talk about shit that I don't know. So anyone that actually watches the Aubrey lawsuit, because I've no clue, like I've no idea if they're guilty or not. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is there anyone in the chat that watches the Aubrey trial? I understand it's about the man who was jogging, right? He was jogging, and a white supremacist militia caught him. That's what the news tells me, so that's what I know. Thank you, Darth Vader. That is so nice. I already made the prediction yesterday about protests in Kenosha. Turns out I was right. There weren't any. Didn't I say yesterday, if Kyle walks, there will be no protests? I mean, they don't even know where Kyle is. How can you protest if you don't know where he is? The man is loose. He could appear. So no one wants to protest anymore. Yeah, but I'm really curious, like, what happened in the other trial, the Aubrey case. Is anyone following it? If Riccietta doesn't follow a trial, no one follows it? Huh? Is that how it works? Should I get Riccietta to follow it, to tell me? Yeah, that is the jogger meme where it comes from. It's the Aubrey case, right? So the man was out for a jog, as I understand, and a couple of white supremacists blocked the road, and they shot him. That's what MSNBC tells me. So I don't know anything. I legitimately, like 100%, I don't know anything about that case. Aubrey trial looks quite bad. They were in the wrong to chase him. Well, I'm curious, like, what all of these people that are saying, oh, Kyle is walking away because of white privilege and justice in America doesn't exist. Okay, well, if the Aubrey trial actually convicts the people that were there and they're found guilty, I'm curious if the Democratic Party will say something. Actually, I know what they will say. It's what they always say when they're getting their way. It's there is more work to be done. Like, even if it would be the year 3500, Democrats have got another win, their chant is there is more work to be done. The work is never ending. So, let me tell you something else. My wife asks me today about what OnlyFans is. She wants to know what is OnlyFans because she was watching television and there was this lady who was claiming that she is making $7,000 a month on OnlyFans. So my wife is like, what is OnlyFans and why don't I do it? Like, why is she making more money than me using the internet? And I had a difficult time explaining to her what OnlyFans is. And I think a little bit of her soul was killed that day. I think my wife now lacks a little part of her soul after I get the explanation. What is OnlyFans? It was difficult, but I think I managed to explain exactly what OnlyFans is. She doesn't have a channel. She doesn't even have an Instagram. Like, my wife is a Christian woman. She goes to church. And she reads prayers before going to bed. So she was unaware of some of the wickedness in the world. She just didn't know what OnlyFans was, and now she does. And I think she's going to read more prayers tonight. I think I might have to buy her another prayer book, and she's going to run out. How did I describe it? It was actually not that hard. I described it that, in capitalism, there is a supply and a demand, and there is a high demand for teenage girls in their pajamas and their underwear, and OnlyFans help connect the supply and the demand to make both parties happy. That's how I explained it to her. And then we watched together a couple of them, and I said, look, so this is the Ushikushi lady. I think it was Andrea Red, a Romanian lady that I found on the first page. And it's like my wife's eyes were bulging as she was seeing the weird position in which Andrea Red was sitting. And it's like, look, if you want to see more, you have to pay $5. And my wife was like, so why don't you just go to a hooker then? And I was like, I do not know either, darling. The mysteries of the universe have not been unraveled to me. So all I know is that there are people who are willing to part with their $5. And that was the explanation that I have provided. It was an explanation that made her satisfied, but a part of her soul was gone after seeing it. So what else we got? So, because I had another thing. Oh, yes. Also on the news today, turns out there is a Romanian scandal. So this is Romanian politics, by the way. This is what they're talking on television nonstop. There is a football player who's a millionaire. I don't know his name. I'm sure my wife knows. Actually, let me ask my wife. Hold on. Cum îl cheamă pe fotbalistul ăla? Ăla cu Prodan. Reghe? Merci. Alright. Now I got the details. So, there's a football player by the name of Reghe. Let me actually see if I have a picture of him so you guys can understand. Reghe. Laurențiu Reghe Kampf. So his name is Reghe Kampf. I think this is the guy. So this is the manly man, Reghe Kampf. And Reghe Kampf is married to a woman by the name of Prodan. So this is his waifu. Let's see if I can show you guys this. So this is what my wife is looking on television right now. It's the conversation between Reghe and his wife Prodan. And they are getting a divorce, right? Because it turns out they were cheating on each other, and the football player is a millionaire, and she's got all these Hermes purses. So this was like the first question that I had. What the fuck is a Hermes purse? So a Hermes purse looks something like this, and it can cost around $10,000. Oh, look, $24,000 for a Hermes purse, and she's got a lot of them, right? So just so you can understand what we're talking about. It was very difficult for my brain to comprehend. Like, I understand politics, I understand anti-racismus, I understand many things, but a Hermes purse was beyond me. Like, I can talk to you like 2 hours about intersectionality. I can talk to you for 5 hours about socio-political events, Israel, Palestine. Oh my God, I'm your man. But when it comes to a Hermes purse, my brain shuts down. I'm like, what, 24,000 euro for a purse? So like 4 of those purses are roughly more expensive than my house. Okay. Yeah, no, seriously. Like, it was like, huh. So what happens if one gets damaged? Like, it rips or something. Like, you put something heavy in it and the leather buckle snaps. I don't know. To be honest, like if the purse would give you the power of Hermes, so you can run away to the underworld, then yeah, maybe it would actually be worth 24,000 euros. But I don't know what it's made out of. Like the suffering of the children in China. Like what the fuck do they put in that purse? It's bizarre. But turns out that she's getting a divorce from the football player, right? And I was listening to the news while I was eating some roast duck that my wife made. And the news was talking about how strong she is, how empowered she is, how brave she is, how intelligent she is, and how independent. And my wife, just looks at me. Like I don't talk politics with my wife, but this is like when she initiates the conversation. She looks at me and she's like, so he's the one providing all the money, and the media is saying that she is the one that's intelligent? And I raise my eyes from the duck, and I'm looking at my wife with just hearts in my eyes, and I'm like, it's so weird. It is like that level of deep wisdom, that's like, because again, like, she doesn't read any politics. Like, she's just like, it just felt wrong to her. It felt weird. Like, so the football player is making all the money, and she's getting a divorce, so she's getting rich. So how is she? How? Why is the media praising her for it? It's like anyone can get a divorce. But I gotta say, I also pointed out, like, if I was a millionaire, I wouldn't marry her, and she was a little bit confused. It's like, why? And it's like, well, it's the temptation, isn't it? Like, imagine marrying a woman that's a millionaire, and you know that if you get a divorce, you can get her money. That's it. Like, normally you may not even want the divorce, but it's like the temptation. It's the reward that you get. I mean, you can get access to millions of dollars just by signing a paper. That's it. Like, why the fuck would you not be tempted to do that? So, yeah. That was the conversation. My wife was race-based. I mean, she doesn't even care about politics, but today it was just a rare moment that we discussed both OnlyFans and the divorce of Reggae Kampf. Okay, we got the German in the chat. So, should we talk about the lawsuit now? My God, I'm glad that it's all over, because, I mean, I hope it's all over. For those of you who don't know, there was Tucker Carlson spoke about how the Democrats suggest, so we don't know for sure, but I think it was like a member of the House or something, suggested that Kyle should now be investigated by the feds. So I find that to be very bizarre because in my country, and I assume that this is true in the rest of the world, if you're judged for a crime, you can't be judged for the same crime again. Unless it's an appeal, right? So, of course, this is true for Kile as well. If the state files an appeal, which honestly I would be shocked if they do, but they have the right to file for an appeal, and they can review the whole trial, and it might be found guilty or not. But the idea of like being tried by the Fed, wouldn't that mean that it's like you would be tried again for the same crime? So that would be weird. Double jeopardy. Okay, so you have that in the United States as well, right? But yeah, like the state can actually pursue an appeal. I mean, I've seen many cases in my country, and I assume in the United States they exist as well. Probably all over the world they exist. So you go to a trial, and you're found not guilty, and then the state files an appeal, and you're found guilty. Like, that is possible. It's also possible that the opposite is true. Like, you go to a trial, you're found guilty, you spend time in prison, but you file an appeal, and then you're found innocent. So it's also possible. The state can't appeal? Okay, well, if that's the case, I don't know why a member of the House was suggesting yesterday that the feds should now press charges. And they should have the Biden DOJ look into the case. And I'm like, well, hold on a little bit. Like, I thought it's over. The state can't appeal an acquittal? Okay, so the American system is a little bit different than the one in my country. To be honest, I think it's actually better this way. I mean, imagine what it does to a person. Like, oh, you're not guilty. And then it's like, boom, appeal. It's like, motherfucker. All right. This is from the Babylon Bee. Mail-in jury ballots find Rittenhouse guilty. Prosecutors find mail-in jury votes at 3 a.m. Rittenhouse not guilty. I hate the Babylon Bee. And the people in the comment section hate it too. It's really, really horrible. How can they say something like this? I mean, honestly, they should be banned from Twitter. I know it's a satirical website, but come on. All right. Should I show you a snippet from This Week is Stupid? Okay, if you tune into This Week is Stupid, you might see this, a very interesting depiction by an artist. We got a Japanese take on this particular photo. God, can you imagine how upset people would be if it's Kyle Rittenhouse, the anime? Oof. I mean, I think Twitter would be upset. People would get offended, definitely. The Ace Attorney spinoff, yes. Tactical Droid is upset. Okay, Tactical Droid, I'll show you another one if that upset you. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on, because I got another one on the same subject matter, by the way. There's a lot of people making interesting caricatures. So I'll try putting that in This Week is Stupid as well. But there is a very interesting take from the suit as well. This is a little bit two silencers. Oh, I see what you did there. Yeah. She has two silencers. Okay, the Anthony Hubert girlfriend simping on Kyle. I don't think she's simping on Kyle. I mean, there is a fake news going around that she gave Kyle her phone number. That's not true. All right, like that is. I couldn't find the article, but no, she's saying that she doesn't feel bad for like she's not blaming him. She's blaming the system. That's pretty much what she's saying. So. She's giving, the correct empathetic talking points. I don't know if she genuinely feels that way, but it's pretty much what she's saying, right? She doesn't blame Kyle, she blames the system. So it's not simping for Kyle. Objection, we're back. I see what you did there. Let's see if I can find something from the actual lawsuit this time. All right, so this is from the actual lawsuit, by the way. It's going to be This Week is Stupid as well. Look at the the TikTok handle, the username that Kyle had on TikTok.
Your username on TikTok was 4 doors more whores? Yes.
Just say, what the fuck? I love how he's like, yes. I mean, he's not ashamed of it, right? Is that he owns it? It's like, your username on TikTok was 4 doors more whores, and he's like, yes.
Yes. Your username on TikTok was 4 doors more whores? Yes.
I can't just. Man, like there are just so many good takes from the trial that I'm like, what the fuck is Binger doing? What is he doing with his life? Why are you asking these? Like what does this have to do with anything, Binger? I'm even shocked that the defense didn't object, but at this point it's like, should we object? Just let him talk. Like, let him just embarrass himself. If you don't get the volume, the prosecutor, Bigger, asks, your username on TikTok was 4 doors, more whores? And Kyle is like, yes. And I'm like, what the fuck? But is that just such a weird question? Like, why would you even ask that? Like, what does that even have to do with anything? You know, as someone in the chat said, Bigger's TikTok is probably 2 pals, no gals. Some of the, my God, like some of the takes from the trial, it makes me lose faith in the American system, because I'm thinking with Binger, you might actually have guilty people walking loose. Like actual guilty people, if they get Binger as their prosecutor, they might actually be loose on the streets. It calls the character into question. Man, we're talking about a 17-year-old teenager who probably made this account when he was 15, and it's a teenage boy having a TikTok account, 4 doors, more hoes. More whores. He gasped. Oh, yes, pillory. Get the pillory. Lock him up. Throw away the key. Yeah, 4 doors, more whores, and Call of Duty. The Wombo combo. The madman who doesn't stop. By the way, what am I supposed to make of this? So we got CNN, the experts. Why Joe Biden can't do much to ease gas prices. This is on November the 9th, right? And 11 days later, sorry, not 11 days later, 9 days later. 9 days later. Oil prices are finally falling thanks to China and Joe Biden. You know, I don't think that this is incorrect, actually. Like, this might be correct, because they're saying Joe Biden can't do much, but Joe Biden and with the help of China, now magic can happen. I see. So it's not really a bad article. No, it's not a bad take. It's Joe Biden is tsuyoi, but he's not so tsuyoi. He's not the strongest. But Joe Biden and China, magic happens in the American wallet. By the way, speaking of magic that's happening, let me see if I can find the other take, which, okay, I don't have it at hand, but I think I can paraphrase it. Although, let me see if I can actually find it, because it's much better when you get to see it. All right, no, I don't have it, but it was, here we go. See, I was afraid I don't have it, but I do have it. So this is the experts, all right? Like, this is what the experts have figured out after much deliberation. If inflation lasts long, consumer prices and stocks could both keep climbing. And it's an opinion, all right? Like, they're not sure. But they're thinking that if inflation lasts long, prices go up. I mean, this blew my mind. I was like, really? Wow. I am so glad I'm subscribed to Market Watch. I got my finger on the pulse of the markets. I would have never knew that if inflation happens, prices go up. Yes, if the value of the dollar goes down, people want more dollars. Wow, like, I'm so glad we're in the good hands of the experts. I mean, their expertise is needed in dark times like this. Who would have known? I had no idea, man. I just, wow, inflation makes prices go up. And if inflation lasts long, the prices will go even higher. Holy shit. Someone went to a university to figure that out. Yeah, it's what Tactical Droid is saying. They said something true for once. I mean, I can't deny that. You know, tides go in, tides go out. You can't prove it. Oh my god, that is, and there's another one. Also with the experts who like there's an article saying experts were blindsided by inflation. They didn't know it was going to happen. It like when the United States printed, I believe it was like 40% of dollars. The total of dollars printed in U.S. history, 40% of it happened last year, and experts had no idea this will cause inflation. It blindsided them. It was like, oh, well, where did this inflation come from? In the meantime, people like myself who have been predicting this, it's like, yeah, this might cause inflation. No one listened to me. You know why? Because I'm not an expert. Look at Quarantine Kuf. This morning, for the first time in over a year, Kyle Rittenhouse can wake up as a free man and post on his 4 Doors More Horse account. I don't think they banned his account. I don't know if they banned his account. But if they did, they should reconsider. He's a free man. He didn't do nothing. The judge and jury found the defendant innocent. Well, actually, the judge and jury found the defendant not guilty, so... Is that a thing? Let me check it out. No, hold on. I don't have TikTok. Do I need to install it to see if it's true? Can you imagine just how many subscribers you would have if the account is still there? Okay, so TikTok, make your day. What is this nonsense? What is this? Alright, I'm on TikTok, and this is the first thing I see. This is what the website believes I'm interested in. Like, I just opened TikTok, and I'm being shown this. What do you want, ladies? I'm a married man. Stop it, ladies, no. Alright, let's see if the account is here, cause I mean, Bigger said it is, so it must be. 4 Doors. No, it is. It is. I need to verify to continue. Shit. It's got 2,742 followers. I think this is the one. But he hasn't posted anything. I think he's just watching people. No. Hold on. There's 4 Doors More Horse 5. So Bingar was wrong. Bingar was actually wrong. I think this is the one. It's got 65,000 followers. I'm confused. It doesn't have a check mark. They need to give him a check mark so I can know the real one from the fakes. Oh yes, he can sue thousands of people. Like even yesterday, The Independent. So after the trial, Independent still said that he shot a black person. And that's factually correct. Like, he can definitely sue for that. Can't wait for the American media explaining why only odd or even license plates can drive on a certain day and why it's actually a good thing. Are you fucking kidding me? That's something that they had here in communism. So, due to the austerity measures under socialism in my country, one weekend, only cars with odd plates could drive. And the other weekend, only cars with even number plates could drive. So it was to reduce mobility for the citizen. Right? Because if you have a car and you can drive around, you're independent. So the communists didn't really appreciate that. And in order to limit people's mobility and to centralize the movement of people via buses and trains, they had very strict laws about they rationed gas. They forbade people from driving. I mean, they made it very, very difficult for people to drive, basically. So you could only drive on one weekend you could drive, the other weekend you couldn't. It was like that in Mexico, really? Yeah. MSNBC said he fired 60 rounds. Are you fucking kidding me? Like that is, yeah, like if anyone that said bullshit like that they have no way of winning the lawsuit. You know, like Joe Biden can actually win the lawsuit because if he says, I think he said Kyle is a white supremacist, and that is something you can actually defend in American court. Like a lot of people don't know that slander and libel is very hard to prove. So for instance, if it's your opinion that something happened, like it's your opinion on a person that, okay, well, I think he's a white supremacist, then, well, it's not really slander or libel, you know, because otherwise anyone that calls a person a racist could get sued. So, every time Trump was called a racist by a publication, he could sue it with money, right? So it doesn't work that way. But if it's something factual, like it's a publication that says he shot a black person and he didn't, then he can sue and he can actually win. So anyway, let's look at some of the salt that we see here. We got a famous writer, Mr. King. Where's Mr. King? Let me see if I can find Stephen King. Yes. And this is something that they're like, the white guy goes free. Says the white guy Stephen King. Everyone clap, please. Everyone like, Stephen King is so stunning and brave. Whoa! Yes, Stephen King. Oh, you said it. You finally said what everyone was thinking of, but what they were afraid of saying. Yes, absolutely. Good job, Stephen. Yeah, that is the ending of the story, Stephen. And you know what? It's still a better ending than your shitty books. Is that by the way, like, do you know there's what is it? The ending in the first part of it. Now, they didn't show that on television. But you know the story, right? Like, you guys seen it, the movie, the first part? Is there anyone who read the book? I'm actually curious. Let me see if have you read Stephen King, It, the book? Let's see how many people read it, because this might come as a shock for the people who only saw the movie. In Yugoslavia, this was caused by fuel shortages. They also introduced new currency every few years or so. Also, it would fit right to the left eco bullshit. Oh yeah, the eco bullshit would definitely have something like that. There's already a credit card that you can buy. I think it's MasterCard. And if you want to virtue signal, you can buy an eco-friendly MasterCard, which calculates just how much carbon you're spending. And if you bypass like the number of carbon per month, then you can't buy things with it. Okay, so a lot of people are going to be a little bit dismayed by what I'm going to say. But alright, so for those of you who didn't read the book, the movie It, let me just, hold on. This is from Stephen King, right? So, the story, maybe you know it if you have seen the movie, is about a group of kids who are fighting a demonic entity. They're fighting this demon clown. And at the end of the first book, and this is only in the book, for some reason, Hollywood didn't want to do this scene from the book in the movie, but you guys can fact check it. Like, I mean, I think you can find it on Wikipedia even. So after the losers, that's how they call themselves. They call themselves the Loser Squad. They defeat the clown. You notice there's a girl in the group? They all take turns having sex with the girl. And they're underage, by the way. They're children. And all of them are having an orgy in the sewer after they defeat the clown. This is in the book. It's not in the movie. For some reason, they didn't want to put that on the big screen. And it's written by Stephen King. And when questioned about it, Stephen King said, oh, it's so that they can form deep ties with one another. Okay, Stephen. Yeah, no, like people are like, oh, what? Read the book. It's in the book. I'm not making it up. It's a main publication. I mean, it's famous. It's best what is it? New York Times bestseller. It's on Amazon. You can buy it. Let me actually see if it's on Wikipedia. It's not even a controversy, by the way. Yeah. Hey, here you go. So, It, the novel, right? Stephen King, It. So, in the sewers, Bill performs the ritual of Chad in an attempt to force the clown in the Macroverse, the alternative universe where it's from, where he meets the master at the Maturin, an ancient turtle that created blah blah blah. Bill learns that the clown can only be defeated in a battle of wits and its true form before Bill defeats the monster. Alright, after the battle, not knowing if they killed it or not, the losers get lost in the sewers until Beverly has sex with each other of the boys to bring unity back in the group. The losers then swear a blood oath to return to Derry should it resurface. So, the girl in the group, and they're underage, by the way, all of them, they're children. And this is something that happens. But for some reason, it's not happening on the big screen. I don't know, maybe it wouldn't sell in China or something. So, I'm really interested in what Stephen King has to say about this case. Yes, absolutely. Stephen, what could we do without your insight? Thank you so much for this, Stephen. I really needed it in my life. Like, your words of wisdom are truly resonating with the public. We also have takes from other blue check. And by the way, like when I went on Twitter last night, the overwhelming abundance of people that were upset were check marks. Like most people, even on the right or on the left, and people who watched the trial, they were either, I mean, yeah, you know, we saw the trial, it was expected. Even on Reddit, you had leftists, and they were like, the prosecution was really bad, like the prosecution did a poor job, blah, blah, blah. It's only the check marks that were livid about it. And you get to see things like, Kyle Rittenhouse being found not guilty does not mean he's innocent. These are the people that are journalists, right? And what they are called is opinion influencers. They influence your opinion. They're going to tell you how to think properly. And we got another interesting reenactment, I guess you can call it. She's saying, I am a monument. She is a monument. Fuck America, and then she puts an American flag mask to cover her face. Yeah, I mean... Twitter was like 2016 yesterday. Yeah, pretty much. She is a monument. Nobody who plays Call of Duty is innocent. I do agree, Real Raven. Did you know that by Call of Duty rules, had Kyle taken 2 more lives that day, he could have called in an airstrike? Those are Call of Duty rules. I'm surprised Bigger didn't bring up in court. Netflix Cowboy Bebop is out. I'm not even interested in checking it out, to be honest. I mean, I wouldn't even pirate it. Let me put it like that. Oh, artillery is 5 kills? I see. I don't play Call of Duty. I don't know what you get when you're on a streak, but how many is the airstrike? uh, you know, here's something interesting, right? So I've been reading a lot of American history lately, and I'm pretty much aware that everyone knows about Rosa Parks, right? Um, so if you're a European and you don't know, she is the person which sparked the whole civil rights movement. She's the black woman which was sitting, didn't want to sit on the back of the bus, and you know that sparked an entire movement. But when you look deeper and when you look at the actual history, like all movements in society, especially the ones that bring about change, they don't happen naturally. And what I mean by this is like you have people that are planning and they're like, all right, they're organizing behind the scenes. So you have activists and all the people that, politicians and the people that are going to push this movement, they're organizing behind the scenes and then they wait for an event to happen. That's pretty much how in most human history, most movements are made. Very rarely is it grassroots. Like usually it's organized by the activists and they're putting a lot of work over months and then they're waiting for an event to start the movement. And apparently Rosa Parks wasn't the first black person that got into trouble for not sitting on the back of the bus. The first black person that did that was another woman, and because she had sex out of marriage and she was with child and she was very young, the activists decided that she wouldn't be a good symbol. Like she, in a country of morality, she wouldn't make for a good symbol, so they waited until Rosa Parks came along. And I'm thinking, you know, so back then, like, people realized the importance of optics. And now you have a wife beater, a child molester, and another domestic abuser. And they're all used as heroes. They're the poster childs of righteousness. And you should think that it's that they should deserve a statue or something. I mean, there are people legitimately asking for statues. And it just baffles my brain when I see it. Apparently, it doesn't matter anymore. Let me remind people about some of the great arguments that Binger made within the trial. So, is it not true that Call of Duty, a game you've played, is a game where you shoot and kill everyone who is coming towards you, right? This is an actual argument made in the trial. You didn't know anyone was armed. You shot to kill them when you should have just taken a beating like a man. I don't think this is Binger. I think this is his pal. I don't know the name of him, but yeah, I mean that's the morality that we're supposed to get. It's like just let people beat you. You use the 30-round AR-15 rifle magazine. That means you had the capability to kill at least 30 people. At least. By using a fire extinguisher on the fires, you were really putting gas on the fire. And this is why I think a lot of people got interested, right? It's the argument that they were making, because the argument is like if the mob comes, you're not allowed to put out the fire. Like when the mob comes in your city, what you have to do is to stay in your home, period. Just let them burn anything they want. Let them destroy anything they want. No one was blaming the mayor in the lawsuit, like in the trial. No one was pointing out, hold on a little bit. Like, shouldn't the cops have been there? Shouldn't the National Guard be there? Like, no. The mob is in the right. They're the ones that get to destroy people's livelihoods. This is another shit that Twitter is espousing, and journalists, of course. Human lives are not more important than property, right? So the reality is that property is human lives. GDP or wealth is directly tied to how much a person gets to live and how the quality of life. So rich people live more than poor people and have better life quality. In other words, your business, which is what you use to put food on the table, is directly tied to your life. They don't take into account, and I don't know if they do this out of ignorance or malice, that human energy is what causes wealth. So the fact that you go out and you're a trucker, right? It's your energy driving that truck, which translates itself into money. So when they destroy quote-unquote property, which is what they actually do, is they destroy buildings and businesses, they're destroying that human energy that was put into those businesses. And they're saying that people shouldn't be able to even go out and put the fire. That's what the argument is about. You shouldn't go out and you put the fire. And if you go out and you put the fire, you should just take a beating. So it's not the people that are putting the fire that have an onus not to attack the ones that are putting out the fire. Because notice, like, the mob, and this is something that I also noticed from a blue check mark, I think they were a Democrat, who said that what Kyle Rittenhouse did is like jumping into the lion cage and then shooting the lions. So basically he is comparing the rioters with animals. It's like they're a force of nature. They're not capable of higher thought. And obviously that's not true, right? Like, if the rioter, when they see a person that's armed, they should leave that person the fuck alone to put out the fire. You're not, like if we're on the argument that human lives are more important than property, why is it that the arsonist who sees the human life putting out the fire is allowed to attack the person that's putting out the fire? Like, I thought human lives are more important, right? But they don't apply the standards, and I think this is why a lot of people were upset. It's exactly due to this referendum, I suppose, on whether or not it's okay to just destroy a city. And trust me, if you destroy, here's the thing, right? That maybe you have like people on Twitter who just don't know, but there is a town where one of my relatives grew up in, and that town used to have a factory which was producing paper, a paper factory. And after socialism collapsed, the paper factory shut down. So all of a sudden, everyone in that town who was employed at the paper factory didn't have jobs anymore. And this brought insane amounts of poverty. This brought insane amounts of crime. And it caused, I guess you could say, the Detroitification of that town. Detroit is a perfect example of what happens when you don't have property, right? So that's what happens when you say, okay, property is more important, human lives is more important than property. I guess, but would you want to live in Detroit? A place where you can't get a job because there aren't any businesses? A place where the crime is high because that's one of the only ways that people know how to make money. It's the only business that's running. So that's why they're so upset. Because you're not supposed to stand up to the mob. You're just supposed to stay in your homes, and the next day you're supposed to look and cry as your entire neighborhood has been burned down. That's what you're supposed to do. They're not talking about, okay, but why aren't the cops defending people's businesses? Why aren't any? Why isn't the National Guard? In fact, I remember like there were 3 journalists, I think like 2 were from the New York Times, I forgot where was the third, who genuinely suggested that you should call the National Guard. Destiny on Twitch said that the police should crack down on the protesters. And Destiny got demonetized, the journalist got fired. And then on January the 6th, everyone was agreeing, yeah, call the National Guard, of course. All of a sudden, protesting was viewed differently. Because it wasn't protesting against people's businesses, it was protesting against the elites. And it wasn't protesting, it was terrorist activity against the elites. This is another thing which I find interesting. I think I made a video about this. Yeah, I did make a video about this. I'm making so many videos I forgot what I talked about. League of Legends released an avatar creator, and I tried my best to make a female character, and the first thing that I see is that you only get 4 body types, right? So if you want to make a woman, I think like the only thing that has boobs is this or this, right? Like this is definitely a man, I think. So for women, you either have this or you have, or no, maybe both are men. So I tried seeing if I can make a pretty female character, and let's see. Need to give her a really cute nose. All right. I'll leave this later on. Okay, I got the lips going, the eyes, the window to the soul. We're getting somewhere. Needs a little bit of eyebrows. By the way, do you know there girl that, like I found this out. Apparently, it's an American thing. Like it really shocked me when I figured it out. There are women who shave their eyebrows and then they use a crayon and paint eyebrows over it. Like, why the fuck would you do that? Now you get 4 body types. But look how many mental illness haircuts you get. So you get 1 mental illness haircut, you get 2 mental illness haircuts, 3 mental illness haircuts, 4 mental illness haircuts, 5, well actually no, this is feminine. 4 mental illness, 5 mental illness haircuts, 6 mental illness haircuts. Let's go something like this. There we go. You can of course do this, obviously. I mean, this is so progressive as fuck. Here we go. And when I looked at the jaws, by the way, I was thinking, look, if I go to bed with this woman, she's going to cut me. She's going to cut me with her jaw. And I really tried finding something feminine here. And I think this is the best I could come up with. Because look at this. Huh? Jesus Christ. Yeah. So this is the most feminine thing I can come up with. What do you think, chat? What from 1 to 10? If you see this lady in a club, would you? So I guess like you kind of can make her like this, but wait. So this is like the only character with breasts is this. Like you can't. No. This is actually no. Sorry. This is a female body, right? So it's a body archetype for women because it does have a chest. So you can either go with this or with this. I can't give her a booba. That is the maximum booba. Seeing Cloud, it's a dude. Thank you, your mother was a hamster. I appreciate it. Glow in the dark, also, there are the same. These are the same that will try to charge you for not interfering in a rape on a train actual story. Yeah. Here's something else that's interesting, right? So, because, like, this is what progressives don't understand. It's like, dude, your rules. When you change the rules in the game, you change the rules for more than the target that you're interested in. Because I remember like a couple of months ago, there was something which blew my mind, right? So the idea that in New York, you had a woman getting raped on a train, and there were people there watching. Now, this never happened in my country. I'm not saying that rapes don't happen, but on a train in a public place with people watching, that is impossible. Like, you will never hear that story in Romania. Why? Because if something like that happens, people will punch the lights out of the person that's trying the rape. I mean, there's just... It's how people here are haywired. You know, too much patriarchy. I don't know why. But if you try doing that, people are going to beat you up and then throw you to the cops. Like, you're going to pray the cops arrive in time. But in the United States, I mean, given what they're doing with the Kyle Rittenhouse case and whatnot, like how they're judging what the jury did, I don't think people are afraid of the rapist. Like, people are like, okay, you know, I can take him down, but what will happen to my future afterwards? Like, what's going to stop CNN for saying that I'm a white supremacist because I tried to stop the rape? What's going to stop the MSNBC or the Democrat politicians for making an example out of me, right? So this is why you have the press really furious and agitated, saying, oh my God, like, how could this happen? It's like, well, it's the country that you're creating. You want people not to interfere, right? Because it's not their job. They should call 911. In fact, you even had the prosecutor in the Kyle Rittenhouse case going like, okay, there was a fire, but why didn't you call 911? Why did you thought you should be the one putting out the fire? And when people think like that, yeah, I mean, that's what's going to happen. That is the end result. Yeah, don't go to New York. I'm not going to New York. My cousin is going to New York. My cousin is very progressive, and she's like, let me remember exactly what she said. Oh yeah, she said rapes happen everywhere, and I'm like, yeah, but not like that. And she asked me, it's like, how do you stop? Yeah, she was asking me like, okay, so what is your plan? If you were a woman, how would you avoid getting raped? And I was like, I wouldn't go to New York. Like, that was literally my my answer. It's like, yeah, I wouldn't go to New York. No reason to be there. People just watch live buggings in buses, trams, and trains, and no one interferes in Romania. Dude, we're talking about rape, all right? Like, I guarantee to you, I'm willing to put money on this, that if you were to ever have an actual rape happening in a bus or a train or anywhere else in my country, and you'd have a woman crying for help as the guy is taking her pants off, people would interfere. Like, there is no way in hell that people would just sit by and watch. And by the way, regarding buses, like, I can't speak for other cities, but I can speak for mine. I have seen pickpocketing happen, and I have seen people say nothing when they saw a pickpocket. But in the case of actual violence, I've never seen a mugging take place. So I don't know if people would interfere. Probably they would. But an actual mugging, like someone putting a knife at someone, like, hey, give me your money, I've not seen that happen in a public place, like a train or a bus, especially not lately. I mean, that might have happened in the 90s or the early 2000s, but right now, I mean, in my city, and I live in a really big city, there are, and I said this before, there are clubs with plasma TVs outside. So you have the terrace of the club, and when the club closes, the plasma TV is outside. No one is trying to steal the TV. No one is trying to break the TV. You have a lot of kiosks that only have a small glass window, and the light is open and you can see the merchandise inside. No one is trying to break the window. No one is trying to rob stuff. So it's a catch-22 because in New York you can be prosecuted for interfering in a crime. Yeah, so I actually heard about it, like, not really in New York, but in California, yeah. Apparently, if you steal, I believe it's less than $1,000 worth of goods, the police isn't going to chase you. So what a lot of people have figured out is that if you, like, they figure out the products that they can steal so that it's around $900 and they know exactly what to take. So what they do is, like, they go in, they steal the product, and then they can flinch it on the black market. And because of that, the stores are now raising their prices. So everything is more expensive because the store keeps expecting people will steal stuff from there. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. And do you know who gets to suffer? The poor people in the neighborhood. That's who gets to suffer. Like, the rich people in their gated communities, they have their own stores where no one steals from there, and the prices are probably lower. Great content, V. I sent you a few memes on the Twitter. Let me see what those memes are. Apparently, Tucker Carlson is going to have a interview with Kyle, which is going to upset a lot of blue check marks. They're already livid on the fact that, oh my god, like, the right-wingers are going to give him jobs and shit. It's like, okay. I know these memes. Um, unfortunately, I can't share them. It's glorifying violence, as the YouTube TOS likes to say. By the way, speaking of something that I shouldn't show, but fuck it. Romania, I believe it was 2 months ago, had a lot of COVID cases. And Germany, as well as the World Health Organization, was like, Romanians are idiots. Like that's exactly how they called it. They call us idiots, stupid, dumb, because we don't have a lot of people vaccinated. We had 30% vaccinated. I think now it's up to 40. But yeah, they were calling us all sorts of names because we haven't got more population vaccinated, right? And now, literally a month later, Germany manages to reach maximum quota due to COVID. Germany is now transferring patients into other countries for the first time in history. They might have a lockdown even for people who are vaccinated because of the high number of cases. 1 month later. Yeah. Fucking. You know, like, it's, I think it's a Christian it's a Christian rule that you shouldn't mock other people because it might happen to you. You shouldn't laugh at your neighbor because it might happen to you. By the way, like there's also that thing with Germany picking on France for their carbon emissions, but apparently Germany pollutes more than France. They keep doing this shit. Just mind your own country, for fuck's sakes. Stop looking at your neighbors. Mind your own shit. Hallo, Head Copper, wie geht's? Entschuldigung. Ja, Deutschland über alles. Ich weiß. Judge, not mock. No, because they're not judging, right? Like it's mocking, right? They're calling us idiots or dumb or uneducated, right? It's mocking. It's not judging. Judging is like, okay, the reason it's happening there is because so and so and such and such. Ziemlich gut. Hey Rami, ich wünsche mit seiner Mutter ficke. I wonder if YouTube actually knows German. Like if the YouTube moderators recognize die Sprache. Can't say that, V. Merkel doesn't like it. The Western barbarians cannot compare with the might of Romanian civilization. Ach, mein Gott, ein Berliner. Das ist nicht gut. Pozzole. Pozzole. By the way, do you know that Germans speak like Yoda? I mean, I had a really difficult time realizing that they actually put the verb on the last part of the sentence. So, no, unironically, like anyone who knows German, like Yoda, they speak. This is how... Every sentence like this you must make. When German you speak. It is weird. You know, it's kind of weird because now I'm thinking like, how does Yoda sound in German? Like, do they actually make him talk normal so that Germans realize that he's speaking differently? The Yoda question. Thoughts on Star Wars High Republic. I already talked about it in a previous stream. Yes, self-defense is not okay in Star Wars High Republic. So surprised you are. But no, like seriously, any German that watched Star Wars in Germany, like, did they make Yoda talk properly? Because that would be the only way you could translate his speech to make sense so that people can get it. Like, you go to a German and you try to talk like Yoda and he will just think you're talking normal. Yeah, I need to hear German Yoda now. Cause I'm curiously. I'm curious. The verb is usually on the second place in German? No, it's towards the end. Towards the end, the verb is. Like, for example, I want to fuck your mom. It's ich wünsche mit seiner Mutter ficke, right? So ficke is fuck and it's on the last. You're saying I want your mom to fuck. That's how you're supposed to say it. Shut up, Ravi. You know nothing. Yoda was a Nazi. No, Yoda was he was the Nazi. He was a Stasi. Yoda was a Stasi. Gewurzwanze? Why don't you like my Deutsch? Was ist wrong mit meine Deutsch? Anyway, right. Unbelievable. You know, you speak 4 languages, and one of them you don't speak it very well, but people are pretentious, and they're like, your German is terrible, man. How the fuck is your Romanian? What other language do you speak besides German and English, huh? Anyway. Auxiliary words push the verb to the end, yes. You use 2 verbs in that sentence, so the other verb is at the end. Yeah, but it's the same with Yoda. Like, if you use these 2 verbs, whatever, you know, like... Let's move on. Let's move on. And I don't like that I have Germans in the chat that can actually contradict what I'm saying. I have some dark news, by the way. This is actually something that really depressed me. But the Monster Girl Encyclopedia will be sacked by hosts due to fetish content. This level of misogyny is unmöglich, like the German would say. The company that now hosts a solid majority of video game and other pop culture wikis recently updated its community creation policy with a new section stating that it will no longer host pages that contain fetish content. And apparently Monster Girl is just that. When you visit the Monster Girl Encyclopedia wiki, you get that the fandom is removing wikis on this topic that contain large amounts of sex, nudity, and fetish material. Fandom spokesman told Kotaku that safety is the company's priority. Also, they're afraid that the poor readers were in danger due to the Monster Girls. Safety. Fucking hell. Safety. So up until now, it was danger. Now it's safe. Safety is the priority of the fandom. We ensure that our communities are welcome to every fan who comes to our platform. Well, except, I guess, the Monster Girl connoisseur. Wikis about fetishes and other pornographic subjects are not permitted, even if described in a non-explicit way. The Monster Girl Encyclopedia violated this policy and will be shut down on November. The wiki weren't going out without a fight. Some started a petition demanding that the fandom continue hosting Monster Girls and other wikis linking to the page. Numerous contributors also requested that the concerned fans reach out to the fandom on social media. Yeah, press F for that. F for the Monster Girls, honestly. You may be a Monster Girl, but you're not safe from the misogyny of the progressives. Yo, V, it's 2 a.m. and my 4-word broke down on a scheduled beach, so won't be going anywhere for a while. Yo, your 4-wheel drive. I see what you did. Thanks for the entertainment. Request do more Mickey Mouse. Do you know that the Florida man actually managed to defeat the mouse? So yeah, the Florida man got Disney to renounce its vaccine mandates in Florida. Let me see if I can find the news, but I think I had it somewhere. The Chad Florida man versus the Virgin Mouse. I'll have to find it after the live stream. I'll probably show it tomorrow. But yeah, it happened, right? So Florida man managed to bend the knee of the mouse. I did not see Kotaku denounce Kyle, no. Leftists think cartoon violence against their people creates some kind of occult psychic attack in real against them. Like some kind of voodoo magic. Well, let me show you something else, right? So there's this Reddit called Dank Memes. And I don't even get this one. I honest to God don't know what it symbolizes, but it has like this guy on a bicycle. Can Kyle come out and play? And Mrs. Rittenhouse says, well, yes, he can, right? So I was looking at it and I'm like, meh. I mean, come on, you know, it's low energy, whatever. But then you have the mod, Dark Memes mod. Your post was removed because one of the following: trolling, mean-spirited, hate speech or bigotry, glorifying violence. Glory, glory, oh Lord, hallelujah. Sexualizing minors, otherwise inappropriated or posted in bad faith. Please note that repeated violations of this rule may result in a ban. Just don't be a dick. How hard is that? Yeah, okay, fine. This is on the Reddit Dank Memes. So you can post your memes. Just don't be a dick with the memes. With great memes comes great responsibility. Kelly Miller watches Vosh. I assume that her take... Well, you know, like, I don't even care what people think unless they watch the trial. Like, if you haven't watched the trial, I don't give a fuck on your opinion on it. Or if you're a YouTube moderator, okay? If you're a YouTube moderator, I do care what you think about the trial. What you think is what I'm going to think. But other than that, if you're not a YouTube moderator, I don't care what you have to say unless you watch the trial. Yeah, you think that dank memes are supposed to be dark. Yes. Let me see what Mentat wants me to talk about. People want to know what is going on here. So, had the pleasure of speaking, blah, blah, blah. And people want to know... What is this? What is... So I guess this is a memoriam? I think like they're holding a vigil or something, right? And you have this guy. He glows. Why is this guy glowing? Look at this. The fix was in for the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. Judge Bruce Schroeder did everything in his power to ensure that the acquittal of a murderer who will now parlay his fame into a career as a right-wing rock star. It only cost him 3 black lives. I stand corrected. It was 2 white lives and a third-person shot. Doesn't make it more okay. So, according to Rus, this isn't more bad. So, according to him, like, wait. So, white privilege. So he thinks that Kyle got out because of white privilege, but then he realized that, like, hold on a little bit. Like, didn't the people getting shot have white privilege too? Like, how the fuck does that work? Because that's what a lot of people say. It's like, okay, a white person shot 3 people and he got off, and that's because of white privilege. And it's like, okay, but if the people that got shot are white and their families are also white and they're not getting justice, where is their white privilege? Okay, this is a little bit too difficult for progressives to rumigate, to understand. No, but seriously, like, every time they talk about, okay, so because Kyle got off because of white privilege, right? That's their argument. Then the victims who are white should also have white privilege. So white privilege means that you can get shot and the person that shoots you gets out? Like, how is that privilege? Germany, the biggest, biggest hypocrite. Okay, someone is a little bit behind on the stream. I don't know why I still have the $4.99 super chat from Darth Tater. Like, how did you do this, Darth Tater? Look. He's the first person that gave me a super chat and it's still here. I mean, even if you were to give me a $100 super chat, it would have been gone by now. But Darth Tater did some YouTube magic and managed to give a $4.99 super chat and it's still here. I've never seen this before, by the way. White privilege let 3 white men assault a Hispanic man who shot them in self-defense. Isn't it, sorry, is it true that Kyle is Hispanic? Because I never, I mean, I keep hearing about this, but I never verified it or not. I mean, Kyle, it's more like a American name, so I guess, I mean, yeah, obviously the name doesn't really matter that much. Rittenhouse sounds American, but people say it's Hispanic. Oh, he's half Hispanic. Also, the father, I see, half Mexican. Okay, now that makes sense. But Rittenhouse, isn't that American? Yeah, it sounds German, doesn't it? It's German roots. I'm not saying like you can't be Mexican if your family name is Rittenhouse. It's just that it's less likely. German or Jewish, same thing. Yeah, it's a YouTube privilege donation. Like that super chat is still there. I've seen $100 super chats get disappeared faster than the $4.99 there. He was booked as Hispanic when he was arrested? I see. Half of the United States was a Spanish colony once. Yeah, but like, you would expect Spanish names, right? That $5 super chat was for something you missed from last stream? Yeah, it's fine. If I missed it, it's fine. You can definitely be Argentinian if your last name is German. Well, you know, like, it's something interesting about family names. At least in my country, and I think it's true in most places. Like, for example, Miller. And you look at it, and usually these names are due to professions. Because there was a time when family names didn't exist and people would have like their profession, right? So Bob the Miller. And eventually the Miller became the family name. In my country, it's true. Like a lot of family names sound like professions. So, for example, you can have Smith, right? Like he was a blacksmith or something. I'm not sure if in the probably not in the United States, okay? Like probably this is not in the United States because by the time the US was colonized, people came there with their European names, so they already had last names. But here in Europe, especially in Eastern Europe, in countries that had people that didn't really move around that much, most family names have to do with a profession that someone used to do in the past. The tides are coming in. The tides are always coming in. Yeah, like someone said, my name means the bean grower. Yeah. Like you get all these types of weird names, which symbolizes some profession that probably your ancestors did at a point. Probably it's kind of interesting because a lot of Jewish names have to do with gold, right? Like Goldsmith, Goldberg, Goldstein. Goldstein means gold stone, I guess. Like Stein in German means stone. So a lot of gold when it comes to Jewish family. If Elizabeth Warren with less than 1% non-European blood is Native American, Kyle can be Hispanic. Yeah, but by that definition, all of us are black because everyone has like 1% of African ancestry, right? Smith, Miller, Baker, Carpenter. Oh yeah, the Baker family. That's true. Like John Baker. Carpenter. I never heard like the Carpenter family. John Carpenter. Is that a thing? Silver? What is like Silver is a Jewish name, like John Silver? Oh yeah, you do have Silver as a name. That's true. Now I'm a little bit mind blown. John Silver. John Silverstein. Silverstein, huh? Taylor is another name. Brandon Taylor, for example. Have a great-great-grandmother who's Native American? I'm pretty sure a lot of people do. Jesus' surname was Carpenter. Get the fuck out, I don't believe that. Yeah, Silverstein, yeah. Can you imagine being Silverstein rather than Goldstein? It's also interesting that Bronstein was never a thing. Also, they didn't really appreciate diamonds, right? So Diamondstein, isn't it? Neither are precious stones like ruby. Like Rubinstein. Meh. It's just gold. Goldstein. Or Silverstein, like you said. I wonder why leftists haven't capitalized on the Kyle's mom is a bitch South Park meme. Because they can't meme. It's one of the first things that I said. When I heard about it. It's like the first thing that went to my head. Oh yeah, those you... Oh my god, Koi Lung. Oof, I'm not translating that. Never count out silver. That's true. Silver can get you through a bad inflation. What does Binger do? Binger loses trials. That's what he does. He allows guilty people to run free. Honestly, like a lot of people had their faith in the American system restored after seeing the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. My concern is that with Binger on the loose, you're going to have guilty people walking free. Lots of Jewish girls are named Ruby, not that I would know. Get the fuck out. Is that true? We're talking about family names, though, not actual surnames. No, I'm playing with a beer opener. Yeah, they used the well, they could have used Kyle from South Park, but sorry, they could have used Kyle, Kyle memes, but they didn't do that, so man. Better 100 guilty people go free than one innocent be wrongly convicted. You know, you're right with that, but I would rather have the innocent person walk free and the 100 people that are guilty convicted. So, preferentially, yeah, what you said is true, but I think we can have both. I don't think you need to pick and choose. Anyway, right, I need to go back making This Week is Stupid. I'll release the videos on my main channel. And take into account that tomorrow, This Week is Stupid will feature the Kyle Rittenhouse, and it's going to be great. I got a lot of hot takes that I didn't show tonight just because I want to keep them for tomorrow. Keep them fresh. But I think I can show you a little bit of a sneak peek. Let me see if... I'll end the live stream with this. Hold on, let me turn up the volume so you guys can hear. This is what the jury was probably talking about during those 4 days.
Okay. Now let's get a quick review.
Hold it. Run that back.
Wait a minute. Go right. There, reset.
Okay, reset.
Vector in on that guy by the back wheel.
Right here on the spot.
With the right equipment, the image could be enlarged and sharpened.
What's that?
It's an enhancement program.
Can you clear that up any?
I don't know. Let's enhance it.
Enhance section A6.
Enhance the detail and doesn't have to enhance releases my screen.
Enhance the reflection in your eye.
Let's run this through video enhancement.
Victor, can you enhance this?
Hang on. I've been working on this reflection.
Someone's reflection.
Reflection.
There's a reflection of the man's face.
Reflection.
There's a reflection.
Zoom in on the mirror. You can see your reflection. Can you enhance the image from here?
Can you enhance it right here?
Can you enhance it?
Can you enhance it?
Can we enhance this?
Can you enhance it?
Hold on a second, I'll enhance it. Zoom in on the door.
Times 10.
Zoom.
A little bit more.
Wait, stop.
Stop. Pause it.
Rotate us 75 degrees from where it was.
Stop. Go back to the part about the door again.
Got an image enhancer that can fit that?
We can use the produce setting of it to see into the windows. This software is state of the art.
Yeah, I can value this off with the right combination of algorithms.
He's taken illumination algorithms to the next level, and I can use them to enhance the slow graph.
Lock on and enlarge the z-axis.
Enhance.
Enhance.
Freeze and enhance.
Yeah, so more of that coming out tomorrow. With better volume as well. Hopefully you guys will enjoy. And thank you for watching this. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow on the main channel. I'm going to release the videos on my main channel that I had planned right now.